Introduction to Classical Tibetan, Lesson 7-3, Verbal Uses of Particles. Last time, we covered the uses of the connective particle, the concessive particle, and the agentive particle between sentences. The first two show contradictions, the third indicates a reason. Today, we're going to cover three more verbal particles, chir, dang, and ching, xing, or xing. Again, it's important to distinguish between these particles as they are used within sentences and between sentences. Let's start with the particle chir, which is used to indicate reason or purpose. When this particle is placed after a verb, it indicates that the first sentence is the reason for the next sentence. It is usually connected to the verb in its infinitive form by the connective particle. For example, Kong ni le lo yin pe chir, lame dangnak la minyen. We saw these same sentences in the last lesson, but they were connected by an agentive particle, yin pe instead of yin pe chir. In this case, the two sentences together have the same meaning. Since he is lazy, he doesn't listen to the Lama's oral instructions. Sometimes chir is translated as in order to. Whether chir indicates the reason or purpose has to be determined from context. For example, Semchen la pempe chir, tap tang sherap ni goso. The first sentence before the chir particle is Semchen la pen, one benefits sentient beings. The second sentence is tap tang sherap ni goso. Go is need. What does one need? Ni, two. What two things? Tap tang sherap, method and wisdom. One needs both method and wisdom. From the context of these two sentences, now we can see that it's probably best to translate chir as in order to in this context. In order to benefit sentient beings, one needs both method and wisdom. Sometimes chir is followed by either a na or a du. These particles don't add any meaning, but chir na always indicates reason and should be translated as since, because, or while. And chir du always indicates purpose and should be translated as in order to, or for the sake of. The particle dang, which we previously learned can mean and, can also be placed between sentences. It connects two sentences together, frequently indicating that the verbs in both sentences are occurring simultaneously or in a relation of causality. If dang comes after a verb, it is usually found after the infinitive form of the verb. Let's look at an example. Tsawe lama dempa dang mo gu kyeso. The first sentence reads, one remembered, dempa, the root lama, Tsawe lama. Then we have dang, connecting this to mogu kyeso. Mogu means devotion, so devotion was born or devotion was produced. From context, we can infer that these two sentences are happening in a cause and effect relationship. One remembers the root lama, and then, as a result, devotion is produced. So we can translate this as one remembered the root lama, devotion was produced. Finally, the particles ching, xing, or xing can also be used to connect two sentences together. They can be translated as and, or can turn a verb into a participle, that is, verb plus ing. These particles suggest a close relationship between two actions or things happening simultaneously. For example, de sem ni ten xing tu che wao. The part before the xing particle is de sem ni ten. Literally, the mind of that is stable. But we can simply say something like, his mind is stable. The last part is just an adjective, tu chewa, very powerful. The subject, his mind, applies to both adjectives. With xing connecting the two, we can say, his mind is stable and very powerful. You can see that sometimes multiple particles can be used to convey similar ideas. At this point, it's best to simply familiarize yourself with the different ideas that each of these verbal particles conveys. To review what we've been over today, "chir" indicates reason or purpose. "Dang" connects two ideas together, sometimes indicating a cause and effect relationship. And "ching," "xing," and "xing," which change spelling depending on the suffix of the letter that comes before, function similarly to the "dang" particle, but can also convey closely related ideas or indicate simultaneity.